What do you feel like right before you're about to give a speech? You know that feeling as you're sitting, waiting to be introduced? If you're anything like me, which we all are because we're human, you get stressed, nervous, and anxious. And the way you feel before a speech always translates in how you perform during the speech. Let me read a couple comments that I got after my first speech at Toastmasters 3 years ago. Matt wrote to me, "Rich, you seemed extremely nervous. Next time, bring a towel to wipe the sweat off your face." Thank you, Matt. Never leave home without it. Norm wrote to me, "Rich, you didn't come across as confident. I bet you don't wear the pants in your family." Thank you, Norm. And by the way, those pants, they still don't fit. But truth be told, before and during my first couple speeches at Toastmasters, I was extremely nervous and stressed. My hands were shaking, my stomach was in knots, and I remember my armpits were just dripping with sweat. We all seem to get that same stressful feeling right before our biggest challenges in life, like before a job interview, before a test, before a speech, or how about, guys, right before you're about to ask that beautiful girl over there out on a date. Hey, how you doing? Meet me tonight at the Change date. Hey, don't be late. Ladies and gentlemen, instead of feeling powerless, wouldn't you like to feel powerful right before your biggest challenge in life? This evening, I will share with you 3 ways to erase stress from your life, especially before a speech. I present to you, I'm going to patent it tonight, the PBR method. The first way is P, which stands for posture. Do you smile, then you get happy? Or do you get happy, then you smile? Do you frown and then get angry? Or do you get angry first and then you frown? Amy Cuddy is a social psychologist, a former Harvard professor, and the author of the best-selling book, Presence. And she states the following: our nonverbals govern the way we think and feel about ourselves. Our bodies change our minds. If she is right, then we do smile, then we get happy. Can we stand up straight with great posture and then feel powerful and confident? Before my first couple speeches at Toastmasters, as I was sitting waiting to be introduced, I often found myself with really bad posture. Slouching and hunching over. But you see, that's what people do when they feel stressed and unsure of themselves. They make themselves smaller. But there is one very important thing that you should do right before your next speech. Can I get a mini drum roll? Power posing. Adopting the stances that are associated with power and confidence. Standing up straight with great posture, your chin is up, you have a wide stance, and your hands are on your hip. A 2-minute power pose will increase your testosterone and lower your cortisol levels by 25%, thus making you more powerful and confident. So that's exactly what I started to do right before each speech, except for tonight. I would get up, leave the room, find the nearest bathroom, and lock the door. Look at myself in the mirror, and then strike a power pose. 2 minutes long. But I feel it now, though. My test is going up. But I got a question. I didn't leave today So what do you do when you're unable to leave the room before your speech? It's pretty simple. As you're sitting, waiting to be introduced, you simply strike a seated power pose. You sit up straight with great posture, your chin is up, you have a wide stance, and your hands are on your hips. Adopting this simple 2-minute power pose changed my internal state from stress to power and confidence. Adopting that simple 2-minute power pose changed my stage fright into stage power. The second way is B, for breathing. We all have the ability to erase stress from our lives by simply how we breathe. Have you ever noticed the way you breathe when you feel stressed? You will notice you breathe much too fast. On the other hand, have you ever noticed the way you breathe when you feel safe, calm, and confident? You will notice you breathe much slower and more consistent. Our brains have learned to associate fast breathing with stress and slow rhythmic breathing, called belly breathing, with calm, safety, and confidence. Before my first couple of speeches at Toastmasters, as I was sitting, waiting to be introduced, I often found myself breathing way too fast. But then I started to take deep belly breaths. I would inhale through the nose while pushing my stomach out, then exhaling through the mouth, pulling my stomach in. I use the 18-second method, where you inhale for 6 seconds, you hold it for 6 seconds, then you exhale for 6 seconds. By simply breathing, taking deep belly breaths before my speech, I changed my internal state from stress to a more calm, controlled confidence. And once again, by simply breathing, I changed my stage fright, but this time into a stage presence. The third way is R, for reframing. You have the ability to reframe everything in your life as a positive. I try to make it my choice each and every day because I choose how I interpret the world around me and the experiences that I have. I try to see challenges as exciting and opportunities for growth, but you can become a more bolder, a more effective, a more confident version of yourself by reframing all stress as excitement. Before my first couple speeches at Toastmasters, as I was sitting, waiting to be introduced, I often found myself letting my nerves and my feelings get the best of me. I would become way stressed, way anxious, and way nervous. But by simply reframing or changing the meaning of the emotion that I was feeling, by pushing myself from stress to excitement, I began to succeed under pressure, thus turning my stage fright into stage power. In conclusion, imagine approaching your biggest challenge in life with confidence and power. Imagine feeling energized and at ease while you are there, liberated from your fears about what others may be thinking about you. And imagine leaving it without regret, knowing you did your very best, regardless of the measurable outcome. Ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you to start using those 3 ways I've been talking about throughout my speech to erase stress. 1 is posture, 2 is breathing, and 3 is reframing. It's a method that I call PBR. Hey!
Time's blue right there.
Who drew this to me? This is not the PBR I've been talking about throughout my speech. This is a Pabst Blue Ribbon. And actually, during my 8 years at college, it was my favorite beer. What the heck? Warm beer. Cheap beer, still tastes good. My PBR method has nothing to do with beer. Sorry, Matt. You can drink the rest of it. My PBR method means standing up straight with great posture. It means taking deep, big belly breaths. And it means reframing stress as excitement. My PBR method means posture, breathing, and reframing.